Welcome back to another video. Today is a beautiful day and I hope you're having a great day. If you're not, just speak it into existence and say today will be a great day. If you speak it into existence, those things will start to happen that you speak. So in this video, we're going to be talking about graphing by plotting points. Okay, so we're going to look at how do you graph by just picking points and plotting them and using those points to make the graph. So let's jump right in and look at some examples. So for this first example, we want to graph x minus y equal -3. So when you graph by plotting points, you want to start with what's called a t-chart. And because x is the independent variable, you want to pick whatever values you want for x. So x does its own thing because it's the independent variable. I like to say x is INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? So it's talking about, that song is talking about an independent woman. She got her own house, her own car, her own job. She can do whatever she wants. And so that's the same thing with x. You can do whatever you want to do with x. And so you would pick any numbers you want for x. And so I like to pick 3 to 5 numbers for x and then go from there. Okay, so the 3 I'm going to pick here is going to be -1, 0, and 1. Now, however many you pick, you need to pick at least 3, but however many you pick will depend on what your homework says. So if your homework says find 3 points, then pick 3 numbers. If it says find 5 points, then pick 5 numbers. So I picked -1, 0, and 1. These are easy numbers. They're centered around the origin. They may not always be the best numbers to pick, but in this case, I think I'll be fine. So this means when x is -1, now I need to figure out what is y. So I'm going to replace x with -1, and then I'm going to solve for y. So -1 minus y equal -3. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I get -y equal -2. I have to get rid of this negative, so I'm going to divide both sides by -1, and I get y is equal to +2. So this becomes a +2. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do that for each of these so I can figure out what those missing y values are. So I'm going to replace x with 0 now. 0 goes away, that's -y equal -3. Divide by -1 and you get y is equal to 3. So that missing number is 3. And so now I need to figure out what is y when x is 1. So I'm going to replace x with 1. Subtract 1 from both sides, you get -y equal -4. Divide by -1 and you get y is equal to 4. So y is equal to 4, go here. So now what this does is this gives me 3 points on the graph. And so now I want to plot those points on my graph. So I'm going to sketch a coordinate system here. And so this gives me the point -1, 2. This gives me the point 0, 3. This gives me the point 1, 4. So all of these values represent ordered pairs on the graph. So -1, 2 is here. 0, 3 is here, and 1, 4 would be here. So -1, 2, that's -1, that's 2, 0, 3, and 1, 4. So those are 3 points on the graph, and because this is a linear equation, when I graph it, it forms a line. So I'll draw a line through those points, and that's how you end up graphing x minus y equal -3. Let's look at another example. For example 2, we want to graph 2x plus y equal 4. So again, I'm graphing by plotting points. So I'm going to pick 3 numbers for x to plug in, and I'm going to pick the same numbers I like, -1, 0, and 1. I'll change them if I have to. Usually you'll have to change your numbers, or you don't have to. You want to change them if you end up with a fraction as your answer, because it's hard to plot fractions on the graph. So you typically want to plug in numbers that give you whole numbers, but you won't know until you plug them in. So if I was to plug in -1 and get a fraction, then I'll try another number. So I will replace x with -1. And now I want to solve for y. So that's -2 plus y equal 4. Add 2 to both sides. That gives me y equal to 6. So that means this value, y value here is 6. Now I need to replace x with 0. So 2 times 0 plus y equal 4. 2 times 0 is 0, so that just gives me y equal to 4. And then I'll replace x with 1. 2 times 1 plus y equal 4. That's 2 plus y equal 4 subtract 2 from both sides, that's y equal to 2. So another thing you'll notice is that with linear equations, whenever you plot, whenever you make a table, if your x values are going increasing by the same increment, your y values should also be increasing by the same increment, because linear equations have what's called a constant rate of change. So you see all of these are increasing by 1, and all of these are, so increasing or decreasing, these are decreasing by 2. So with a linear equation, you will have that same pattern on the x's and the y's. So now I have my 3 ordered pairs, -1, 6, 0, 4, and 1, 2. And so I want to plot those. I'm going to put my graph over here in this window. So here's -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So -1, 6 would be here. 0, 4. 0, 4 would be here. That's 4. And then 1, 2. 1, 2 would be here. That's 2. So my graph is off a little bit. But those 3 points, they should be lined up. -1, 6, 0, 4, and 1, 2. Yeah. So my graph is off a little bit. But you will draw a line through those points. When I say off, my scale isn't correctly evenly spaced. Because if it was, those points would lie exactly on a straight line. You can see mine were a little curvy. But you get the point. You will draw a line through those points, and that will give you your graph. For example 3, we want to graph y equal to -4. Now, if you notice, I only have one variable. Anytime there's only one variable, it's going to be a special case. That means it's going to be some special form of a line. Okay, so let's look and see what happens. So I don't have an x to plug in anything, but I can still pick whatever values I want for x. So -1, 0, and 1. But this tells me that no matter what, y is always going to be -4. So even though I don't have an x to plug in, this tells me the value of y. Y is -4. So that means for all of these, your y value will be -4. So now when you go to plot those on the line, you get the point -1, -4. So here's -4. 0, -4, and 1, -4, which is also here. And that ends up being a horizontal line. And so you end up with a line that's horizontal. So horizontal lines go like this. Now this lets us know that every equation in the form y equal b represents a horizontal line. So whenever you have y equal to some number, that's going to be the graph of a horizontal line. For this last example, example 4, we want to graph x minus 3 equals 0. Now, if you notice, there's only one variable. There's not 2 variables. So this is also going to be a special case. Now, because there's only one variable, I'm going to solve for this variable. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And this gives me that x is equal to 3. So this is the only case where I cannot pick what I want to pick for x. So remember, x is the independent variable. In this case, x is not the independent variable. This is the only case where you have an equation of the form x equal to some number. That means x is restricted to that number. So that means no matter what, x is going to be 3. So my 3 values will have to be 3, 3, and 3. But in this case, y can be anything because there is no y to plug in. So I'll just put my 3 values that I usually put for x. I'll put them on the y side. And so when I go to graph this, I get the point 3, -1. So here's 3, here's -1, 3, -1 is here, 3, 0 is here, and 3, 1 is here. And so that ends up being a vertical line. And so any equation of the form x equal to some number gives you the equation of a vertical line. So whenever you have y equal to a number, you have a horizontal line, and whenever you have x equal to a number, you have a vertical line. And so this is how you would graph by plotting points. You just pick whatever values you want for x, unless it's the case where x is restricted, and you figure out what is the y value that corresponds with it. Then once you figure out the x and y value, that gives you an ordered pair on the graph, and you plot those points and draw a line through the points. So if you have any questions whatsoever, include them in the comments below. If this video helped you in any way, hit the like button. And if not, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.